Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to the Creating Help Sites Rapidly webinar, Runthru software. And in this short webinar, we're going to go through and have a look at Runthru Fusion, and I'm going to use various assets to create a static help site for you. And I'll explain what a static help site is as we go along. So let me now share my screen with the goal of getting things done nice and quickly. Share the screen. Share. Okay, are we sharing the screen? Yes, hopefully we're sharing the right screen. This, you're looking at runthruguides.contosi.com, and this is a site that we made. It's a dummy site. Contosi's a pretend organization. We built the little logo and we built the website and we bought the domain just as a demonstration example. But in it is content that we created in our own software, in Microsoft Word, in Markdown, and some other technologies. And the reason we did all this was to try and find the fastest ways of getting content from people and distributing it to an audience. That was the goal, the whole goal of this activity. So inside the site, you might see some rich materials. This one here, for example, is from Runthru Instruction, which many of you will have. So it has the step-by-step instructions and the screenshots, and it's rendered to HTML, and it has some additional elements as well, that the sort of things that you see on professional websites or help sites, such as these little boxes here with the styling in them. So we looked at these assets that were out there in the world and said, how fast can we enable an author of a website, a help site, to be able to create a page like this and put it inside of a structure and then deliver it to the audience, either as an embedded help system or alternatively as just published on the internet, which is obviously what this one is. So contosi.com or runthruguides.contosi.com is on the internet. So here is another example, and this time here with a slight variant on a run-through instruction file with opening and closing sections. And yes, you can do that from the current version of run-through instruction as well. And also some cross-referencing between different things inside of here and some other little important assets, such as this one here on the right-hand side. So the question was, okay, with that design, how can we rapidly allow a user to take their run-through instruction content and content that might be in Microsoft Word and in Markdown, which I'll show you today, and how do we bring it all together into a website? That's the goal, and that's what we're going to look to achieve over the next short period of time. This is the content of the website, interestingly enough, and this is Runthru Fusion. So this is the main user interface of the application. It has three main columns. The first column here is your hard drive, or in most cases it's OneDrive, so you can share and collate the assets. So this is OneDrive. In the middle is the structure of the website, and on the right-hand side is where you edit things. So these things here, and we'll build this, produce that Contosi site that you've seen. So it has a Salesforce and another section matching these things here, Salesforce and other. And in Salesforce, you would find how to enable security keys. And inside of that, you would actually find the content and the assets in it. So each of these elements here is a page or a collection of pages, and each of them contains one or more elements from the disk, or from OneDrive. So the Salesforce here contains a Markdown file. Salesforce contains a Markdown file. How to enable security keys contains two things. It contains a Markdown file and a run-through file. In every case, the content of the page comes from your disk. So on that hard drive or on OneDrive is where you create and edit the assets, and then they're structured and delivered. So it's a little bit different to the way that you might think about a sort of centralized editing service where you log in and change things and regenerate. It's not like that. It's files on the disk, which then go through a structure, which turn up as a website. So why is that good? Well, it's good because everyone knows how to put files in folders in OneDrive, and it means that an individual or a couple of individuals can then just structure the assets and regenerate the site whenever it needs to be regenerated. So I'm going to show you how to do each of those things. I thought a good place to start would be to actually create, instead of just Salesforce and other, which is what we saw here a second ago, the Salesforce and other, let's go back, Salesforce and other, we'd create another one of these things, put content in it, make some content, and then generate the output. I thought that would be a good thing to do. So we'll be a little bit random with our names of things, but this is just a folder on OneDrive, and we're going to call it November for the sake of the argument. And we'll call it the November product. We'll pretend it's a new product and we're calling it November for the month. And yes, it's completely random. So into this folder, we're going to put assets, and then we're going to make pages from those assets. That's not entirely true. We're going to make pages that use those assets. And this is the important bit, right? The page is not a copy of the asset. The page uses the asset. So therefore, you change the Word document or you change the run-through instruction file, and the website can pick it up. So it's not this sort of conversion thing that's going on. It's this live interpretation of the content that sits in OneDrive. So here I'm in OneDrive in a folder, and we're going to create 3 assets in here. The first one is going to be a nice fresh Word document, and we might as well leave the default name. The name doesn't actually matter. The second thing that we're going to create in here is a text file, a text document, and this is going to be, well, new text document. Sounds fair enough. And the third thing is a run-through instruction file. The chances are you guys know all about these, so I'm just going to pinch one that I created yesterday or the day before and just drop it into here. And so now I've got 3 elements, 3 files inside of the folder on OneDrive. Okay, so re-enter here, Runthru Fusion. So this is OneDrive. And if I refresh this, what you're going to see inside of here, hopefully, is the November product. That's what we just made. And here are the 2 assets that were just created. That's how it works, right? Nice and simple. But there's nothing in the Word document, so that's going to be rather dull. So we better put something into the Word document. So let's pop it up and edit it in this ubiquitous editing environment. And we'll create an asset because everyone at your organization and ours knows how to use Microsoft Word. My large, exciting heading. I don't know if you guys find this, but I find if I'm typing while someone else is watching, my typing degrades. I make more mistakes, hopefully with correct spelling. Already made another little say. Yeah, this relates to the new product called. So this is the section of the website that's about a new product. So we need a name for the new product. And instead of putting a name for the new product, we're going to put in curly brackets product name into Microsoft Word. And then later what we'll do is we'll automatically substitute in a product name. So we're writing this for use inside of Fusion. If it was purpose for both, I would leave this out, but we're writing it for use inside of Fusion, so I'm going to leave it there. We need a picture because all good Word documents have a picture in them, and we're going to find a picture of Parramatta. I'm not sure why, but that's what we're looking for a picture of today. And we'll go to images, and inside of images, we're going to pinch an image and we're going to paste it into the Word document. And so this looks fine. Yes, you can put the picture in any way that you want. We're just going to paste it in. So all good Word documents, of course, have pictures, and all good Word documents have tables. And so they don't usually have tables that are as colorful as that. So we're just going to put in some nonsense text into here. So we now have a table with some content in it. Word document, as long or as short as you want. We've got a short Word document. I've worked on it. I put it in the folder in OneDrive, and now it's going to be time for someone to pick it up and make use of it, which we will do momentarily. So let's return to this and have a little look at what we've got. So we've got the new Microsoft Word document. We've got the Zoom meeting here, which is that run-through instruction file that we had. We're going to include these in the Contosi Guides website, ready for action. All right, there are three levels here, really. There's the top level, and it's got lots of little black squares and one white square indicating it's the top level. Then we have these things called sections, which have 4 black squares, and then we have pages, which is one individual black square. The style sort of indicating the graduation down through the site. So we're going to have a new section here. This new section is going to be called New Product for the sake of the argument, and it pops up at the top of the list here as a section. So what that means is when the site creates, you will see new product, Salesforce, and others. So this is the new guy here. In here, we're going to have a new page. In fact, we're going to have 3 new pages, one for the Word document, one for this, and then one for a Markdown page that I'm going to make for you shortly. So how do we make a page from, in this section, from the Word document? Well, we create a new page in new product, because that's what's selected, not in Salesforce, but in new product. So we'll create a page. And so that is the new Microsoft Word document. It can have a description, it must have a name, and it uses one page template from the collection that has been created for you. You can have as many or as few of these as you want. We'll just choose the default one, which is page. It's called New Microsoft Word document as the title. I think we'll leave it at that. And in this one here, we're going to just take that run-through file, which is sitting on the disk, sitting in OneDrive, and we're not going to convert it to HTML. All we're going to do is say, take the run-through file and make a page from it. It's just called Zoom meeting. So if we build this now, let's have a look at what we've got. We've made a Word document and we've made a Zoom meeting. We didn't make one of those. We had one of those from earlier. And this is what you get. You actually get a converted version of the run-through instruction file ready to go. I mean, that is kind of instant web publishing of run-through instruction files by putting them in a folder, moving them over to here, not moving them, but referencing them here, giving it a catchy title, and there's the page. But amazingly, the same thing's going to happen with the Word document as well. So if we come up the top here, we go to New Product, and we go to Word document, you see there's the conversion of the Word document into HTML as well. So you just put the Word document in the folder and reference it, and it'll convert it to standard HTML. So where we use title style in the Word document, in here, it will convert it to heading level 1, which is really what it should do. It will work for bullet points and links and all those other things as well. But the whole idea is creating a help site rapidly. That's the whole reason for the existence of this software application, is put things in a folder, reference them in here, change the styles if you wish to, and then out the other end in a website will come a fully searchable, correct document that mirrors whatever's in the assets in here, because it is the assets in here converted at the point of publishing. Now, we've used 2 formats here. There are 2 others that you can use. One is run-through performance, which we're not going to touch today, but one is Markdown, which we really need to talk about. Markdown is what the cool kids use, whether you're Microsoft or Oracle or IBM or Git, or it doesn't matter, the cool kids use Markdown. And they use Markdown because it is a simple text format that is independent of the visual output. And I'm going to make a little one of those for you now in the folder called November Product. So we'll go back into November Product, into the folder. Here it is. And you remember I created a new text document. Right click, give me a new text document. New text document, there it is. And that is about as simple a file format as you can possibly get. I'm going to change this to be a Markdown file by just changing the file extension, because a Markdown file is a text document. That's it. That's all it is a text document. And so for it to be a text document and to turn into something beautiful in the output, well, you have to know the syntax of how to use this. And yeah, it's you got to learn that, or you got to be able to look it up. But I'm going to use the simplest editor on Windows just to give you an idea of how this works. And then what we'll do is we'll use a different editor, which is a little bit easier than this. Not easy to use, nothing's easier than Notepad, but easier in terms of being able to see what's going on automatically. So I want a big heading, and I want a small heading and also some text. So these things here are obviously just lines of text until you do something like this. That is heading level 1. That is heading level 2. So then you've got your text and put the text underneath it. If you want bullet points, this is a bullet point. And I'm going to copy that and just paste it a couple of times because it doesn't matter. And this is really interesting. This is a numbered list. And this is how you do multiple numbers. So you don't have to type in 2, 3, 4. You can just type it like that. So this is a text document where you can, when you get quick at it, you're really, really fast at it because you can just bang these things out and not have to worry about sizing and colors and what have you. Yes, you can do bolding in here using asterisks and things like that, but we're not going to bother with that for the moment. But it's all of those sort of obvious texty things you can do inside of this world. But you can also do tables, which I think is quite fascinating. So we're going to do a very simple table. It's going to have 3 columns in it, and I'm just using the pipe symbol, shift, the backslash, or shift backslash. And what we'll do is this table is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. But hang on a minute, there are 5 things going on here. Yeah, but this one's going to be a divider. And so the format is using these pipes and then just putting content inside of these. That's the heading. And this is the content that's going to go in the table itself. And so it's really, I know it looks probably a bit foreign and everything, but it's this really simple way of using the world's simplest text editor to create nice visual content. So it's called New Text Document Markdown. It's in the folder. And because it's in the folder, we can reference it inside of Runthru Fusion. And we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll refresh this. We'll see our Markdown file inside of here momentarily. And we will make a new page in New Product. It's called New Text Document. You can rename it. You can change this. You can change that. But good enough. Let's have a look at what we've got. We'll build it up and we'll navigate through to it. And we've got New Product and we've got New Text Document. And this is what we just made. So that text, the hash made it heading 1, 2 hashes made it heading 2, text is text. The hyphen space, the dash space, that makes them bullets. And 1, 1, 1, 1 makes it a numbered list, which makes it really easy to renumber as well. Yes, you can do 1A and all that sort of stuff. It's slightly more complex, but of course you can ask your friendly local AI to help you do that. And yes, there's an AI built into this as well to help you with those things. The table has come out as you would hope the table would come out. It looks good. You know, it's got a heading. These are bold and the content is all nicely aligned and it's beautiful HTML, beautiful, simple HTML. Whereas all we had to do was edit this Markdown document and put a bunch of little columns in it. And that was all that we did was we typed that thing and we got this nice looking table. So Markdown is just incredible. It completely separates the visual interpretation from the editing, which, I mean, it seriously appeals to me and to those of us in the business here because you spend a lot of time formatting things in most cases, whereas this is just this really simple way. And as I said, and I'm being flippant about it, but this is the way the cool kids do it. all the major organizations use Markdown to create their pages. Now, many of their pages have a lot of really interesting design elements in them and cross-referencing, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the first thing we'll do, I think, is go to the top of the site. Let's just close this out, and we'll go back to the top of the site, and let's build it again. And here, where are the Salesforce? Yeah, no, this one. Yeah. So this page here has this info block on the top of it with internal links in it. So it's got the little symbol, it's got the words, it's got the blue background, and it's got these hyperlinks in it like that, right? So I just want to show you how that's made, and it's really easy as well, but we're going to do it in Markdown. So we'll go back to the text document, properties, text document, edit the Markdown file. So this is editing it in OneDrive, yeah? We're not editing it in a web application. It's not on the cloud yet. We're editing it locally so we can distribute this inside of a piece of software that you might have as an attached help system, or alternatively, you publish it and put the website up. This is the way we do our website, our help site, as well as the Contosi example site. So let's say down here below the table, what we want to do is a hyperlink that goes to another asset. And that asset can be inside or outside of the organization, so of the structure of this site. We're going to do it inside of this site. So from this Markdown page, we're going to link to this other asset in the site, removing a hardware security key from Salesforce. Good enough. And so I copied the link, and I'm simply going to paste the link inside of here, and that's what the link looks like in Markdown. So it's going to say, removing a hardware security key from your Salesforce account, because it's in this format here. It's got these little square brackets around it, and then followed by this information, including a link to go to a particular part of the page, which isn't necessary. So let's just make it a little simpler. And we'll put some text at the beginning of this. You might also need this page. And that's what's going to come out the other end when you publish it, just like that. Now, remember that we use that blue block and around, and there was a little information symbol in it and the text info at the top, that thing. Well, let me show you how to do that. So we're going to decorate this block of text with something else. And there's a little bit of a pattern you need to know for this, but it's run through block. And you can make your own and use any words that you want. We call ours run through block info, and then we close it using these three dots. And so that would give you that sort of asset. So it just decorates it like that. And you can have as many of these as you want. But basically, it's a way of creating these really nice looking formatted pages using the world's simplest text editor. So you could have done all that in Notepad. I'm doing it in an internal editor that has a preview, but you could actually do it entirely in Notepad. Not only that, Markdown also in our application can make use of something called Mermaid. What on earth is Mermaid? Mermaid makes charts. If you want to make a flow chart with 7 million little boxes on it, this is not the tool for you. If you have a flow chart that's got 10 or 20 boxes on it, this could be for you. And its destiny is to go onto a website. This really, really could be for you. So we're going to, using text, make a flow chart. I'll show you how to edit the flow chart. And then what we'll do is we'll link from the boxes in the flow chart and we'll jump off to something else. That's what we're going to do. So now, let's pretend for a minute that we can't remember how to make a mermaid chart, a mermaid flow chart. So we'll come into here, and mermaid is not our invention. Let me make that clear. We've just integrated it. So let's come to here, and we'll go to mermaid. This is called mermaid.live. And in Mermaid, you can make your own flow charts and other charts using this syntax. And so I'm going to explain this. And I'm not a mermaid expert. I don't train people in mermaid, but I can make you mermaid charts, and that's what I'm going to do for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to make probably not this Christmas get money go shopping, because we're just going to do something different. And let's pretend that we can't remember the syntax. We'll pretend. So in here, we could ask Fusion Copilot, which is part of the application, links off to AI in the real world. We could say, please make me a mermaid flow chart that explains how to make coffee with or without cream. All right, let's see what we get. And I've done this 20 times, and every time it's a little bit different. So this isn't a mermaid flowchart. In mermaid syntax, SYNTAX, please. And I have a backup in case I can't get this to do what I want. I can't, sorry, the visual content. Yeah, let's give up on AI. And what we'll do is we'll grab one that it did produce earlier. And so this is the one that it made earlier. So let's have a look at the preview. This was straight out of Fusion Copilot, which is using an AI from the internet. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. And this is what comes out the other end. Would you, you boil the water, you add the coffee, you add sugar if desired. Would you like cream? Yes or no? And I promise this is exactly what the AI produced, and it's not great. The great thing about it is it now gives me the syntax that I want to use to produce the flowchart. And I'll explain it. And I think what we'll do is we'll edit it in that native environment online. Let's edit it in here, because this preview is a lot faster than the previewer inside of our own application. Then we'll just copy it back in. That's what we're going to do. So this next few minutes, I just want to explain a little bit about what this syntax is doing here. A box called A has the label called start in it. It has square brackets around it, meaning that the box here has square brackets around it. It's called A, it's got the word start in it, and the brackets around it give the corners the squares. If they're brackets like this, then it gets round corners. And if they're like this, it gives you a decision point. It gives you a gateway. So then you connect the dots. So A connects to B. Start connects to boil water. Boil water is known as B. You can give them real names. By default, it goes A, B, C, D, etc., right? But you could give this a real name. So you could call this boil, and you would then have to call this one boil. So they've got names. So start connects to boil. Boil connects to add instant coffee. D here, which is add sugar if desired, connects to Q, which is would you like cream? And so these things here, basically you just type down the page and it will form these up. So yeses and nos, and I'll explain those in just a second, but we do need to fix this because it is a little bit funky. Would you like cream, yes or no? This is redundant. I mean, skip cream is redundant. It should just go no straight to enjoy your coffee. And that's what we're going to fix right now. We're just going to make that change. And this will give you a chance to see what's going on. So the question has two answers. One is yes and one is no. So question answer no goes to F, which is skip cream, whereas it should go to enjoy your coffee. So we're going to take it to G. That's all we're going to do. Enjoy your coffee. That's it. So what it's done here is enjoy your coffee, but it's left this little orphan here, F. F without a name connects to G, and that's not right. We don't need that. That is redundant. We'll just take it out of play and we're fixed. And that's really all there is to it. And So adding things in is not terribly difficult. My recommendation is you give these things names. Don't go with the A's and B's and C's and D's, because it really does kind of mess with your head a bit. But if you give them names like boil or add coffee or add sugar, right, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, so that is a little baby flowchart. We'll take it and put it back into here. And then what we need to do is we'll add a hyperlink or two, and job's done. So how do you add hyperlinks? Well, again, it's a syntactical thing. We have to type it in, because you don't highlight objects in this world and click on a linky button and point at something else. You don't do that. You have to type it. And yeah, I know that seems a bit crazy, but it works really well. So we're going to go from one of these, add cream, and we'll jump to something else inside the site. So let's find something else inside the site. How about this one? We've looked at this one before. And I'll just put this link under here. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I want to pinch part of it, which is this piece here, which is the URL of the actual page. And so you can see it's put here, but I want it on that element. And so I type in click, and I want to click on add cream, which is E. Click on E and go to this location, please. And that's all you've got to do. You just put them at the bottom of the list, as many of these as you want. And so add cream will navigate you within the site to the same point that this is here. So this is redundant on the page. We'll take it out, because add cream takes you to the page that you want. So if we save that and we close this, and we go back to the top here and we rebuild it, you'll see that from the new text document, we now have a flowchart, new product, new text document. We now have all of these wonderful elements, but we also have a link off this that if you don't know how to add cream, you can go and find out how to add cream if I built it all properly. But that's exactly what would happen. It will jump you to the appropriate part of the website, just like that. Now, you may remember earlier that we put into here, I put in some curly brackets with product name in them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make use of that. So I think what we'll do is we'll edit that, edit this new text document again, edit the new text document again. So we'll come into here, we'll edit, this is the one with the flowchart that we just made. And in the top of here, and also some text, is going to become, this applies to the wonderful product name. So this is a variable here. That same variable is sitting inside of the Word document, because I typed it just like that in the Word document. So we don't need this anymore. We've saved the Markdown file. We'll come back, however, this time to somewhere different, which is right at the top of this. And I know there's a lot of buttons and switches in here, but the important one for this activity is variables. And so on the variables window here, we can have as many of these as we want, but the one we want today is called product name. And the product name for our brand new product, let's say it is the coffee winner product, the coffee winner product, like that. That's our product is called Coffee Winner. I just made that up. And so we'll save that. And now when we rebuild the site, anywhere where those curly brackets and product name has been used, it's going to pick these up and make use of it for us. And so if we had used it in the Word document, which we did, there it is. And if we used it in our Markdown document, there it is, it turns up. And even if you used it in your run-through instruction document, which I did, I didn't show you that, but I did, it will pick it up. And so in one place, you could change the product name and it would just go through the entire website and produce the result that we were looking for. Okay, one final thing, and this gets back to, oh, no, we did the decoration thing, didn't we? I did that information thing. So I think we're at the point where we've kind of covered off the things I wanted to show you with variables and related content. Right. And so then all we do is we basically build the site, And then when we're ready to go, we publish the site into a folder, and then we use Git to basically put it up into the cloud, and then it's instantly available. And that's it. That's what we do. Or we have customers that take that site and embed it inside of their software applications as well. So that's what I wanted to show you today. It's a Runthru Fusion. It is for creating help sites really rapidly from our own software applications, but also from Microsoft Word and also from Markdown. Thanks very much for coming along today. I hope it was worthwhile for you. This recording will be up on the website shortly, and we'll send out a link in the email. Thanks very much. Have a good day. Bye for now.